Hello and a warm welcome to Granada Reports.
Yeah, good evening. Here's what's coming up on tonight's programme.
Did she also kill in Liverpool? Police question Lucy Letby about deaths and baby collapses during her time as a trainee at the city's prestigious women's hospital. We'll be live with the latest.
Two women bonded forever. How Georgia owes her life to Debbie's heart screening campaign and the son she lost 10 years ago.
That's what it was all about for me, to give those young people a tomorrow, something that Aaron never got.
People say, Kevin, have a problem with Kevin. Do you think I would not like to play Kevin?
Why Pep's on the defensive again, this time denying he's had beef with De Bruyne. That's coming up in sport.
It's a doily draped over a Ford Escort, but is it art? Whatever you think, these nimble fingers help scoop one of the country's most famous awards.
And it was a frosty and in places foggy start to the day today. All change over the next few days. I'll have the full forecast later on in the programme.
Well, first tonight, and it's been revealed Lucy Letby has been interviewed by police about the deaths and sudden collapses of more babies in her care.
Detectives from Cheshire Police are reviewing the cases of thousands of babies admitted to hospital while Letby was working as a neonatal nurse.
And the investigation has now been widened to the Women's Hospital in Liverpool. Our correspondent Elaine Wilcox has more.
Already behind bars, the former nurse turned baby serial killer. But did Lucy Letby's attacks start as a student on the wards in Liverpool? The former poster girl for the Countess of Chester's neonatal unit is currently serving 15 whole life sentences for murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 7 newborns by injecting their tiny bodies with air or insulin or force-feeding them fluids. She was later convicted of trying to kill another baby girl after a retrial.
Late last night, Cheshire Police confirmed that Lucy Letby was interviewed by police in prison under caution over the unexpected deaths of more babies at the Countess of Chester Hospital and here for the first time at Liverpool Women's Hospital, where she trained as a student. She'd worked more than 30 shifts here on 2 placements in 2012 and 2015.
Just recently, a leading consultant who originally raised the alarm about Letby told the inquiry about his fears.
It's likely that Letby didn't start becoming a killer in June 2015 or didn't start harming babies in June 15.
But a number of experts have challenged the evidence used to convict the nurse. Her new barrister says she continues to maintain her innocence and has accused the police of media leaks about the new investigation.
Lucy would want me to maintain her innocence, that she has never harmed any child at all. Now, she was voluntarily asked to attend an interview, which she voluntarily did. She was never arrested and she has not been charged. They're serious allegations, they had to be acted upon. My disappointment is that it was briefed and leaked to the media.
Her new legal team plan to take her case to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, which investigates alleged miscarriages of justice. Earlier this year, she was refused leave to appeal her convictions, which means if nothing changes, she will die in jail.
Well, this new police investigation focuses now on 2 hospitals here in Liverpool and in Chester, and there are big numbers. Cheshire Police say they're reviewing the care of 4,000 babies born while Lucy Letby was employed as a nurse. But they've said that they would have informed the families involved in this investigation and provided them with support. And already the Thirlwell inquiry looking into Lucy Letby's crimes has heard distressing accounts suggesting that babies' breathing tubes had been dislodged on 40% of shifts when Lucy Letby worked there at the hospital. But it's the way in which the evidence was used in a murder trial that has sparked an awful lot of debate, with the nurse insisting that she has done nothing wrong. Now around 50 specialists from medics, statisticians, former managers and police officers are planning to meet in London this weekend to review what they say are the flaws in the case against her.
OK, Elaine in Liverpool, thank you.
Well, next, the powerful message from families from Merseyside devastated by tragedy.
Yes, Ashley Dale and 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell were victims of gang-related shootings within hours of each other in 2022, and months before Ellie Edwards was gunned down in Wirral.
Well, today their parents joined other bereaved relatives and pupils from Olivia's primary school on a trip to the pictures.
Our correspondent, Anne O'Connor, reports.
A trip to the cinema for school children on Merseyside. But this is not for a festive blockbuster. It's for a lesson that might save their lives.
Instead of joining gangs, how about joining after-school clubs, youth clubs?
Liverpool poet Joseph Roberts' film is part of the Evolve programme funded by the Home Office to tackle serious and organised crime.
Walking through metal detectors before walking into school.
Merseyside Police, local authorities, Liverpool and Everton football clubs and charities are trying to steer children away from gangs.
Have you noticed that every kid looks the same? Same coat, same trainers, thinking with the same brain. All of them
in the
walk at
audience,
same
pupils from Olivia Pratt-Corbell's school in Dovecot and the 9-year-old's mother, as well as the family of Ashley Dale, shot dead in Old Swan the day before Olivia was murdered.
These children have probably, a lot of them will have seen these stories on the news over the years, and we're more than just a story, we're a family.
Ashley would have been 31 just before Christmas.
Yeah.
What is Christmas going to be like for you?
Not like the happy event that it would have been, but I've still got 2 little girls who, you know, keep us going and still want to have Christmas for them, so I have to kind of just get up and paint the smile on really and just try and pretend that, you know, everything's okay for them.
It's devastated the family. Life will never be the same.
What will Christmas this year be like for you?
It's going to be hard. It was only Monday that I got the tree out, and I've put it up, and that's as far as I've got. But I will decorate the tree and make an effort for the family.
It has made an impression on the Year 8 pupils from one of the city's boys' schools.
We've come today to represent Cardinal Healing, but we're also going to bring that back into Cardinal Healing and do assemblies.
I learned about knife crimes and how to not get involved with gangs and how to not carry weapons.
If we do get involved in a crime or know someone that does, definitely how to get help.
We've learned do not do that drugs, getting knives.
Has it put you off getting involved in crime?
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of seeing flowers on the floor.
Police say Evolve is working with its strategy of clearing areas of crime, then holding and building on better communication. Today is part of stopping the next generation of gangs.
Because this can't go on. And if we work together, things will get better.
Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Liverpool.
Yours sincerely, Joseph Roberts.
Really powerful message there. In other news today, and Blackpool has replaced Glasgow as having the lowest male life expectancy at birth. A baby boy born in the town between 2021 and 23 is currently likely to live for an average of 73.1 years, while one born in Glasgow is likely to live for 73.6 years. Blackpool also has one of Britain's lowest female life expectancy rates.
2 nuclear power stations in Lancashire scheduled for closure will stay open longer than previously planned following a review. Energy company EDF says Heysham 2 at Morecambe Bay will continue to produce electricity for an extra 2 years until March 2030, while Heysham 1 will carry on operating until March 2027.
A funeral has been held for the world's oldest man who died aged 112 in Southport last week. John Tinnerswood was born in 1912 and was a lifelong Liverpool fan. He was laid to rest at Southport Crematorium this morning. Shortly before his death, John said the secret to living a long life was just luck.
Well, next tonight, the woman who, in her own words, is giving young people a tomorrow her son never had. Debbie Dixon was left devastated when her son Aaron died aged 23, 10 years ago, of an undiagnosed heart defect.
Well, since then, she's been fundraising for a hearts charity which gives heart scans to young people. Hundreds of lives have been saved as a result.
And now Debbie's got to meet one of those many people who owes their life to her hard work. Here's a report from Tim Scott.
Every week in the UK, 12 apparently fit and healthy young people, that is aged 35 and under, die of undiagnosed heart conditions.
A video from the Cardiac Risk in the Young, or CRY for short, charity, highlighting deaths through heart conditions in previously healthy young people.
80% of the cases occur with no symptoms. That's why CRY's pioneering screening programme, which now tests many thousands of young people each year, is so important.
23-year-old Aaron Dixon died of an undiagnosed heart condition in 2011. He was found unresponsive in his bedroom in Tarporley.
I just heard the most horrendous screaming and just knew instantly that something was wrong. So grabbed the phone and dialed 999. And obviously the paramedics arrived, but it was too late. We'd already lost Aaron.
Previous checks had failed to spot that Aaron had ARVC, a rare heart condition. After finding out that over 600 young people die of similar undiagnosed conditions every year, Deborah set up a fund in Aaron's name, in conjunction with the CRY charity, to get more young people heart scans which could save their lives.
For me, 10-15 minutes will give you that peace of mind, and that's how long it takes. So all young people should be screened, but unfortunately there's no national screening programme, and that's the reason why I do what I do.
One of those who've benefited from the charity's heart screening is beautician Georgia Briscoe, who Deborah's visiting at her studio today. Georgia needed keyhole surgery after her heart scan picked up a problem.
They told me I had an ASD, which is an arterial septal defect, and they said that the blood's pumping around the wrong way. This is why you're feeling tired, because it's basically doing the opposite of what it should do. So they said I'd had this since I was young. I think babies have it and it should eventually sort of heal, but mine never did.
So you've met Debbie and you've seen the work that she does. You know, what's your opinion of what she does?
Oh my God, I love Debs. The things that she does is just incredible. From what she's been through to create something like this and help so many other people, yeah, it's just amazing.
That's what it was all about for me, to give those young people a tomorrow, something that Aaron never got. And selfishly as well, to keep Aaron's memory alive.
Deborah has fundraised an amazing £700,000 for the CRY charity to date, and both she and Georgia are urging all young people to get their heart scans to prevent any more needless deaths in the future. Tim Scott, ITV News, Northwich.
Debbie's tireless work continues, and earlier I spoke to Dr. Stephen Cox, the Chief Executive of the CRY charity. I asked him first what exactly CRY does.
It's everything that we're trying to achieve as a charity is to identify young people early, young people with heart conditions at a time when they can receive treatment, lifestyle advice, sometimes corrective surgery, and often saving their lives.
One of the things that Georgia said was that she was feeling tired, but there were no other symptoms. What else should we be looking out for? Because many of us are busy, many of us are tired.
There are some red flag symptoms, which are exercise-related chest pain, passing out when you don't protect yourself. Those are red flag symptoms. Family history of young sudden death, that's really important if there's been a young sudden death under the age of 50 in a family from an inherited condition or an unknown cause. But 80% of young sudden deaths occur with no prior symptoms whatsoever. And this is why screening with at least an ECG is so important, and why we want every young person to have that opportunity to have their heart tested.
There isn't a national heart screening programme. Why do you think that is?
We need an infrastructure in the UK. We need to build that, and we have been doing that as a charity, training experts, specialists for the last 25 years. We believe that it shouldn't just be the privilege of elite athletes and some professions. It should be all young people who should have the screening.
Many people will ask the question, is it right that charities like Cry have to step in where the publicly funded NHS won't?
And we feel these services need to be funded, whether it's understanding the cause of death through expert pathology, through to screening young people. Should it be families who have suffered bereavements, whose children have died, who are raising those funds to offer that opportunity to other people in their community? It shouldn't be.
And we have seen over those years a number of screening events taking place. How do people find out more about those?
You just go to testmyheart.org.uk, but I would urge any watchers to be patient. Our events fill up very quickly, so go on to a waiting list and hopefully you'll get the opportunity to be tested soon.
Just one last thought on Debbie, Dr. Cox. She's raised more than £700,000 for Cry. What are your reflections of the work that she's done over the years?
Debbie's an incredible person. What she's achieved is unbelievable in memory of her son Aaron. And I think this is already an incredible achievement, but it's not going to end there.
Stephen Cox, the Chief Executive of the Cry charity, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really is amazing, isn't it? You know, all those lives save such a great legacy for her, Aaron.
And as Dr. Cox said, Debbie's an incredible woman and her work continues.
Absolutely. Now, when 9/11 happened more than 20 years ago, thousands of air passengers from all over the world were grounded in Canada, caught at the start of the moment that changed the course of history.
Well, a new award-winning musical has arrived here in the region that tells their stories of hope, humanity and unity. And today, many of those real characters that inspired the show have flown into Salford to watch it.
Our correspondent Rob Smith has been to the Lowry to catch up with the stars of Come From Away.
We were halfway across the Atlantic when I got a call saying there'd been an incident in New York.
One plane, then another, and then another.
Dozens of flights, thousands of passengers, all forced to land on a Canadian island in the Atlantic. The tiny town of Gander suddenly found itself hosting those no longer allowed to fly home on 9/11. A story of disaster spawning hope, told in the musical Come From Away at Salford's Lowry. At its heart, two passengers who met and fell in love while grounded, one from Britain, one from the US, now watching someone else act out their tale.
It weighs on you that you found someone that you love.
In the wake
so many
of
people lost someone.
3,000 families were devastated.
Yeah.
Put a bright light amid the darkness.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They both have an amazing twinkle about them, and so that's something that I love to focus on, their sort of energy and their just gorgeousness and their beautiful story that happened 23 years ago.
Yeah, I have played a real person before, but not a real person that actually came to watch us in the show. I think I just try really hard to play each moment in the scene, each moment in their journey, and just try and do that truthfully every night.
My son's a firefighter in New York, and I couldn't get through to him. They needed food, bed, clothes.
Here, when a stranger knocks on your door, we take care of them.
And take care they did, sheltering the stranded for days until the skies reopened. The real mayor of Gander, visiting Salford today, is modest about how many react to what he and others did.
It's not an amazing thing for us because that's what we do on a daily basis. We live on an island out in the Atlantic. We help everybody, and if you go back in the early 30s and 40s during the Depression and everything, people survived by helping each other. If you were a fisherman, you made sure the farmer had plenty of fish. The farmer made sure that the fisherman had vegetables. And so we looked after everybody.
Let's make these people honorary Newfoundlanders! The show reflects how the people of Gander did all they could to lift the spirits of those trapped in their town. Those like Hannah O'Rourke, who later learned her firefighter son had died a hero. Actor Bree Smith from Nantwich met Hannah at her home in New York. She knows what telling her story and everyone else's means.
I didn't know this story 5 years ago until I'd watched it, and it's such an important story about human kindness and that it still exists, because in this world sometimes that we live in, we don't see as much of it as we could. So it's kind of a reminder that humans are kind.
A reminder playing in Salford until January. Rob Smith, ITV News.
OK, time for sport now, and it's emerged that Manchester United's squad scrapped plans to wear jackets supporting the Rainbow Laces campaign. Hi, David.
Yeah, they were meant to be worn in support of the LGBTQ+ community and ahead of their game with Everton at Old Trafford on Sunday. But one of the players refused to join in, so the rest of the squad chose not to as well. Well, the club's LGBTQ+ supporters group, Rainbow Devils, said the decision was a great disappointment. United says it welcomes fans from all backgrounds, adding that players are entitled to hold their own individual opinions, particularly in relation to their faith. Well, during the game, the club captain Bruno Fernandes did wear a rainbow armband.
It needs time to have the best.
Well, City are home to Nottingham Forest tonight. Well, there are important games at both ends of the table for our Merseyside clubs. Leaders Liverpool will look to build on their healthy 9-point lead at the top as they go to Newcastle. Everton are...
What about this one? I said, Leeds have come through fire after fire, a lot of this group. There's only a few players joined us this summer. The rest have just been through constant. Here's another knock, another knock, another knock. And we're still going and we're still fighting. I certainly am. And I believe the team are.
This club, this team, these players are used to the fact that they're top of the league or they are competing for every trophy. They also know that it's a long season, and to win the league against the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal and City, they all know that we have to be for 9-10 months on top of our game.
With the crowds and playing with some new faces who I played with when I was younger as well, so that was quite familiar. So yeah, doing a tournament is what I want to do.
Now in the Football League tonight, Stockport County, Blackpool and Fleetwood Town are all in action. Meanwhile, last night in League One, Bolton Wanderers manager Ian Evatt celebrated his 250th game in charge with a win over Mansfield. They're just outside the playoff places after a trio of late goals saw them run out 3-1 winners. Wigan lost, so moving on to League Two, where goals from Ben Woodburn and Colt Stockton helped Salford beat Harrogate 2-0. Tranmere Rovers and Morecambe shared the points as they drew 2-2 at Prenton Park. Despite taking the lead at Bradford, Barrow had to settle for a 1-1 draw, while Accrington lost. Yeah, loads of goals last night, loads of games tonight as well.
I know, we'll be spoiled for choice on which to watch. Thanks very much, David. Now here's Lucrezia with what's coming up in the evening news.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, Lucy Letby questioned for the first time over baby deaths at the Liverpool hospital where she trained. Also, it's the end of the line for 3 more private train companies. And the spectacle of sumo makes an historic return to the UK. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Don't know where to look there.
Well, I was going to say there's so much to say on sumo wrestling, but I don't want to get in trouble. So,
OK, we don't get in trouble on this one either, but if I say turn a prize, please don't turn off.
Yeah, it's a very exclusive artistic award that in the past has been graced by names like Anthony Gormley, creator of the Iron Men in Crosby, Damien Hirst and his Cow and Calf in Formaldehyde, and although she didn't win it, Tracy Emin's Unmade Bed.
Well, last night, a new winner was announced, the Scottish artist Jaslyn Kaur. Basically, her piece was a red Ford Escort covered in a crochet doily.
So why are we telling you this? Well, that doily, which we both agree is really the best bit, was actually created by someone else.
And she's called Rachel Mills. She's from Blackburn, and Anna Yosef went to meet her.
Rachel's hooked on crocheting. What started as a hobby has become a business, and for the past 15 years she's taught others how to slip stitch, double crochet and half treble. Now one of her doilies has been featured in a Turner prize-winning art installation. And no, she's not spinning you a yarn.
The winner of the 2024 Turner Prize is Jaslyn Kaur.
So I was approached by the Scottish artist Jaslyn Kaur, and she phoned me to make the doily, which was just a photograph of a 6-inch doily to go over the red Ford Escort for the British Textile Biennial. It was 5 metres by 5 metres because it had to go over the car, obviously, so it had to be quite huge. And I used to take it to the pub down the road and put it on their dance floor and stand on the bar to take a photograph to make sure that it was flat and that the pattern and the design was working.
What does the doily actually represent in the artwork?
The significance was her family lived in Glasgow and it was quite a status symbol to have a car. So her father had a red Ford Escort and the doily is more to represent the textile workers.
It took 67 balls of cotton yarn and 3 months to complete.
Do you think this will raise the profile of crocheting?
Oh, most definitely, yes, because most people don't put art and crochet together and crochet and art together, and it is an art form.
So, Rachel, can anyone learn how to crochet?
Yes, certainly. So a simple slip stitch is how you would start, and you would just go over the back and take it off. Okay. Over the back.
Might need to practice a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
But practice makes perfect.
And Rachel's the perfect example of how your passion can help win prizes. Anna Yosef, ITV News.
Fancy a bit of crochet action?
I'm terrible. But what I can say is that we have a number of unmade beds that could rival Tracy Evans in our house.
How nimble are your fingers?
Terrible. OK, let's get the weather.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. Unsettled weather to close off this week. Over the next few days, there'll be spells of heavy rain at times, winds picking up, and by the weekend, a colder feel in general for all of us. We can see the air masses fluctuating over the next couple of days or so, blue and then yellow. Eventually, by the weekend, colder air winning out, and with an active jet stream, low pressure systems being propelled across the UK, rounding out Friday into Saturday with some rather wet and windy weather. Back to this evening, it's not looking great out there. Over the next few hours, lots of heavy rain, surface water and spray on the roads. Around 3-4 o'clock tomorrow morning, it'll turn a little drier, but remains damp, cloudy, breezy. Not as chilly as last night. It got down to around freezing in a few spots, probably tonight around 7 or 8 degrees. And most places starting tomorrow on a dry note. Those are the sun times. It's up at 8:12, setting at 3:51 tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow then, a dry start initially, not much in the way of brightness. And unfortunately, things go downhill. During the afternoon, from the southwest, bands of showers will move in across the whole of the northwest of England and for the Isle of Man. And as you can see, they're really quite heavy for tomorrow afternoon. So again, this will lead to some nasty driving conditions where you find the heaviest of those downpours. Temperatures are on the mild side, but it's fairly academic if you factor in the wind and the rain, a grotty old end to the day. Looking ahead and over the next few days or so, it's still quite unsettled, particularly Friday into Saturday, wet and windy weather ahead, and also temperatures take a bit of a plunge into the weekend. It's going to feel chillier both by day and night and remains unsettled. Bye-bye.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
I wonder whether Rachel could crochet us a little duvet for our news desk.
You should start a crochet club in the newsroom. There'll be lots of takers. It will catch on. Apparently there are already clubs that exist where you can join up.
Get involved. I'm a Christmas present.
There you go. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.